thank the Lord for finally getting my daughter here. I think this is about the third or fourth time that she was supposed to come. I think Sister Chad, you remember it, but she wasn't able to make it, or this was the case, or that was the case. But you know what? All we got to do is have some patience. All we got to do is wait on the hand. He'll get them here on. Because you know what? Well, she done found out more about that rock. She done had to go to that rock. Oh, you know, when she was singing, I thought about something. You know, we as parents, we as people of God, we have a job to do with our children. And I remember when this child was a little girl, and we'd go to church, and she'd ask me, she got to the place, she'd ask me, she said, where I'm singing at this evening, Mom? Because all over the city of Detroit, she would get invitations to sing, you know, bring that child to sing, bring that child to sing. And my husband and I, we would, regardless of how we felt, we'd get in that car and take that child anyway. And she would sing, and she got more popular and more popular. Next thing I knew, she was being called to come to New York. Still a teenager. And I don't know why the Lord's carrying me this way. But I had to go because she was a minor. Then they told me, they said, we want her, but she's got to be emancipated. And I said, okay, all right. So she was emancipated. And she was getting bigger and bigger. You know, Mom, you know, when they emancipate, that means that they take care of you. You know, you got money. First every month, she'd be watching for her delivery of her check. You know how a kid is and everything. But, you know, I remembered, hallelujah, I was in New York. And all of them, Clyde Davis, all the people that you can think of, Aretha's manager, Whitney Houston manager. I was in New York, was she about 15 or whatever you were at the time? I was there, and she would look like to me, she just couldn't get herself together. I would have to kind of, you know, all right, now we're going in here. But you know what? You know, as things went on, the Lord, see, when you got God, man. My God. When you got God, I was standing there in Manhattan with all the rich folks, with all the big folks, and they was telling me what all they had, $4 or $5 million contracts and this, that, and the other and everything. And I didn't know to turn it back in Detroit, and I'm standing there, and then something said to me, you know, I said, Lord, you know, what is this? And God showed me a black wall. And he told me, he said, I'm not going to let her go through it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm not going to let her go through that wall. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. And you know, I know how she felt. I told her, you know, how God was leading me, but all she could see was fame and fortune. Amen. And then the Lord, I went and I prayed, because you know, a lot of times we got to go back to the Lord and question it. You know, Lord, what is this? You know, did I hear you right? And the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me and said, do you want your daughter, or do you want fame? And I, you know, well, yeah, I wanted fame, and I wanted my daughter too. But then he showed me Nat King Cole's mother at that particular time, what she was going through with her daughter. Now all this other stuff hadn't happened, that, you know, down the road. But I told her about that. I said, the Lord, it's just, you know, so I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I give my daughter to you. Whatever you do, I'm going to put it in your hand. I'm going to leave that alone. I still got my daughter, y'all. She don't have her daughter. Jesus, my God. Oh, we got God, y'all. We got somebody on our side. That's not part of what I'm going to be speaking on today, but I think somebody might have needed that. Somebody might have needed that. You know, just because we going to just throw everything out so beautiful for us and everything, which he will. But you know what? You got the adversary. You got the devil. And the devil is running loose. Tearing up our world. Polluting everything. Polluting us. Rebuke him. And plead the blood of Jesus. That's all I got. Glory to God. I'm glad to be here. If I don't say but a few words, I can't tell you nothing, but God is real. And God is love. Oh my God. But you know, the Lord just led me that way. Somebody might need it. Who knows? Amen. Depend on the Lord. I don't care what you got. I don't care how big you are. Depend on the Lord. My daughter last week, see, she didn't go the way. She didn't go Manhattan, New York, and Clyde Davis and all them. But last week, she was downtown on the pier. The richest of riches. The owners of Ford Motor Company. Praise God. All right now. The people with all kind of money. That we couldn't, I think somebody donated $15 million to the concern. One person. I'm just talking about how it is. But my daughter was down there. And when she came in, she came in. And she had to sing for those people. And she was singing this song. One of the biggest millionaires was sitting there at this particular table, and she was singing this song about reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. And he was sitting there and looked like he didn't even know what that was. Head guy for whoever. But anyway, my daughter walked up to him and took his hand. And she said, touch somebody's hand to make this world a better place. And I saw that little grin come on his face. And because he had just been sitting there like a robot. But when she touched his hand and was singing that song all over the place, it wasn't too many of us there, our nationality, but they began to cry. Some began to cry, you know. And so, why? Because that spirit, they needed that. They needed that. Almighty God. And I sit there, and I said, well, she might not be on Broadway tonight, but and then when I went after that, the poor thing ain't had no rest since. They've been calling, they've been doing this. She was big enough to reach out to them, all them rich folks. You know, sometimes we get scared. We get scared and all, but she went on out there, and when she got through, oh yeah, don't you tell me God won't do it. Oh, hallelujah. Woo. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But anyway, I'm going to bring it back down. I thank you, Sister Crystal. I thank your team. I thank all of you for taking time out this evening just to come out and enjoy the Lord with me. So that's all I'm going to do today is enjoy the Lord. I don't have no form and no fashion. But I know the man from Galilee. And he has set me free. And I can tell you what I know about him. Now, you know, see, you know, it's a lot of great women in the Bible. A lot of great women. You're talking about, this evening we're talking about Esther. Okay, well, anybody know how long ago Esther was around? Anybody know? Well, anyway, it goes back to the year 490-something BC. That's right. Before Christ. But we're still talking about Esther. Why? Because Esther left a legacy. Esther did something for humanity. And you know, when they talk about the Jewish people, they still honor Esther. They still read the book of Esther on the day of that celebration. They call it the Feast of Purim or something like that. But they still do that because of Esther. Esther did something that the Lord used her, that gave fame. And I think about us today. And the way the story goes, it talks about Esther's cousin raised her, and he raised her up, and although he worked for the king of Persia, and they needed how some women get, but anyway, the king's wife, she got disobedient. She wouldn't come. He wanted her to come so he could show off. You know how men are. They like to show us off, So she has gotten sick of it, I guess. I'm filling in on the story the way I read it. Y'all can read it and put in what y'all want to put in. But anyway, she got sick of it. So she didn't come. She didn't come. So that made the king mad. So then he asked his little cronies, what should we do about her? So they said, well, king ain't nothing to do but just get somebody else. Get somebody else. Now, see, a lot of times we look at things, we say, well, wonder why did you want to do that? The Lord wasn't working. Yes, it was. Yeah, but anyway, Esther got all fixed up and everything. Making a long story short, the king chose Esther. And Esther became the queen. And as the story went on, the king's second man in command, who was Haman. Haman the devil. He was a big shot. He was running things and everything. And so as the story unfolds, there was a plot to kill the king. And Mordecai got hold to it, which was Esther's cousin. So he told Esther, and then Esther had a chance to tell the king. And so as a result, they got favor. They got favor with the king. And I know I gave him some favor too. Somebody saved my back. And as the story went on, then Haman did not like Mordecai because he wouldn't bow down to him, and we all like that. We want to, give me my accolades, give me my honors and everything. So by him not bowing down to him, he took an attitude toward him. So he said, I want to kill him. I want to kill him. And then I'm going to kill all the Jews. Just kill them all. So that was the plot, to kill all the Jews. And as the story went on, and now I'm going to read your scripture for today. Amen. And this is where Esther had gone, and anyway, Mordecai had gone to Esther to tell her about the plot. That's right. And then this is what Esther says to him. She said, "Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days. High or day, I also and my maiden will fast also. And so will I go into the king, which is not according to the law." So here, Esther, she must have knew the law, did she?
Yes, she did.
She must have knew the law. This is what, if we don't get nothing else, remember, don't go out there and try to do nothing wrong.
All right.
Don't you think you're big enough to do this? Especially when the devil's present. Because you don't know what that devil got in there. But Esther told him to go get the Jews. Go get the Jews and have them to fast 3 days. Don't eat. And she was going to do the same. All right. Now, how many of y'all ever fasted 3 days? Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy, so I just want to know if y'all must have been through it too. Any of you all over here ever fasted 3 days?
Yeah.
You fasted 3 days. How'd you feel, Bishop?
Beautiful.
You felt beautiful.
I felt beautiful.
Praise God. You felt like you had a little strength, didn't you?
Yes, yes.
Did you feel like you was going to get a breakthrough from God?
Got that breakthrough. Thank you. Glory.
That's why sometimes we don't get a breakthrough, y'all. That's why when we play with God.
Hallelujah.
So many people playing with God today. You know, oh Lord, help me. You know, I'm praying. But we don't want to change our ways. We don't want to be obedient to Him. We don't want to say yes to the Lord. Your way, Lord, not my way. But we're going to do it our way. But anyway, Esther knew where to go, didn't she?
Yeah.
She went and told Mordecai to have the Jews to pray. And all of them was going to pray and fast. And then she had another stigma that was bad. If the king didn't ask to see you or whatever, then you couldn't go. If you went, you could be killed. If you just go and knock on his door and say, "Hey, I'm here to see you," he can tell his hangman to go out. "Hey, take him on out and kill him." So people didn't do that. People didn't do that. So she was saying, "Hey, this king ain't called for me in 30 days. Now, you know, now what am I going to do? I got to get to the king some kind of way." But what did she say? If I perish, I perish. But what I'm going to do? What said she going to do? I don't think y'all know this story. She's going to see the king. Yes, Lord. So, Esther got herself all fixed up. Y'all know women how we can do. We want to get that man. We take a lot of time fixing ourselves up. We try to look good, you know, and everything. Why? Because we're trying to, as my husband said, we're trying to catch a fish. And she fixed herself up and everything and made her way to the door. And when the king saw, I guess he probably lost it. He threw that gold scepter out there right away. And wanted to know what was her request. What did she want? And even to that's what got me. Even to half of the kingdom. Hey, you take half and I take half. He was gonna give her half everything. You men know how y'all are when y'all love. When a man, as the world said, when a man loves a woman. Oh, hallelujah. Right. Oh, my. But anyway, making a long story short, you all can read this story. But as the story goes, Esther got a request. She had the banquet. And as the tide turned, you know, Haman, he put his own self in the trick bag. He thought everything was for him. Come to find out, it was for Mordecai. And as a result, he was Esther told him the story, and of course, you know, Haman was killed. And Mordecai, he went on and took his place, and he gave the Jews opportunity to fight for themselves and win the victory. And to this day, this story, which is a true story, is still being told. We're still looking on that, knowing what God can do. And you know, and all these things come for our learning, to make us stronger. You know, when you think about it, there's a lot of women that we can think about today that in the Word of God that went through, but they stood their test. Now let's bring it on home. Now we are in 2019. And Jesus, and God is still on the throne. And you know, there's somebody said, well, the day of miracles and stuff is over. That's a lie. God is still working here. God is still doing miracles. I can pull even my daughter out of the audience and have her give a testimony about her darling daughter. How God worked miracles for her. And all of us, this is 2019, but we are here for such a time as this. And women, your theme is a woman with a heart, with a heart of love. And certainly Esther had to have a heart of love because she was willing to die. Die. I'm going to go see the king. If I perish, I perish. You know, that's something to think about. You know, we're good at, analyzing. Well, wasn't there something? But put the shoes on our feet. And how would we handle it? What would we do? Think about it. And it tells us today that take the Lord along with you everywhere you go. Just like Esther did. If you got God, baby, you got all you need. You got all you need. Oh, he's such a good God. When I was reading, for this theme that you had, and it was talking to you, and I was looking at that love and I just started searching it. I just started searching love in the Bible. Love, it really helped me. And I pray today that it will help you. And it went on like 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 7. It says, talks about love. And I'm just going to read this and just see how we measure up to this. It said love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. My. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Whether it's good or what. Just tell it anyway. If it's the truth, it's the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Now, if anybody didn't know what love was all about, y'all know it now, don't you? Now, if you all got these qualities, characteristics, then y'all got quite a personality. Y'all got quite a personality. Y'all got a lot going for you. Praise the Lord. And when I think about how Jesus told the